Next, we have Mr. Love Agarwal, IAS. And brief introduction about Mr. Mahan Aryaman Sindhya. He is an AI entrepreneur blending a legacy of public service with a vision to make India's tech future. As a co-founder of Ithara AI and Kubera AI, he is working to make India a global hub for data services, AI model training, and AI native enterprise platforms, leveraging India's talent and attracting global Indian expertise back home. And Love Agarwal sir, one of the most trusted administrators of our time, who led India's COVID response and now shapes India's global trade strategy as a Director General of Foreign Trade. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Kishore, IPS. Mr. Kishore is a young police leader with a rare background in AI and data science from IIT Kharagpur, now applying technology to public safety. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Pulkit Swaroop, SVP Engineering at Physics Wala, building education technology for millions of learners across Bharat. Sanjay is here. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Sanjay Vanwal, co-founder and CEO of Spine. I think he is, he's coming. We can start the panel discussion. So, I would like to start with Mr. Sindhya. So, India is seeing a strong momentum in AI, backed by government vision and ecosystem growth. What excites you most about India's AI journey over the next 5 years?
Firstly, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to be a part of this esteemed panel. I think as a young entrepreneur, it's a privilege to be able to speak and be a member of the AI Summit. But I think this question is a very interesting question. It's a question that I think about a lot and have been thinking about a lot over the last couple of months. And something to really think about is that first I want to make you guys aware of the current AI ecosystem in India today, along with the government policies and initiatives that have come in. Let's start very first with the India AI mission. There's an outlay of about 10,000 crores to be spent to build the AI ecosystem in India. Now, what does that mean? That means, firstly, put together a large amount of data centers. So invest hugely in data centers. Secondly, build a large GPU infrastructure. So the government has already bought around 38,000 GPUs today in India to subsidize cost to startups. Companies like Sarvam AI, companies like Nani AI we've been working with have taken advantage of such infrastructure to develop more localized models on voice, on chat, to be able to service Indian customers, but also to be able to service foreign national companies wanting to enter India and the Indian ecosystem. Thirdly, you have a huge talent pool. You have approximately 5 million developers a year that get created, 1.5 million engineers that get created. You have 30% of employees / founders, not only in India but abroad, who are Indians, including members of multinational corporations, which I don't need to name, like Google, Microsoft, etc. Additionally, more than that, you have to look at the digital ecosystem. Today, foundationally, you have almost 75% mobile penetration in India. You have 100% of that having either 4G or 5G access. which is a fundamental to any access of any AI technology. So, looking at it as a whole, the ecosystem is ready. In the next 5 to 6 years, you're looking at 25 to 30% CAGR in the AI sector. What that means is that you're getting a $30 billion market value within AI in India today. But all this is very exciting. The ingredients are there, the flavor is there. But unfortunately, something that I'm not very happy with within the Indian ecosystem is, I'd say, us as individuals. I think when I talk to a lot of youngsters in India today, people in my company, people abroad working for other companies, what I've realized is that we often fall prey to short-term gain rather than long-term investment. Employees, people, the youth, we often think of, okay, where will I earn an incremental salary? Okay, chalo, I'll earn 2 lakhs more in this company, I'll move to that company. I'll go window shopping. Then I'll say, okay, fine, I want 5 lakhs more in another company, I'll go to another company. So eventually you create horizontal experience and no vertical experience. You move from one company to the other company, the third company. Secondly, we become service providers. We don't become owners and builders. So we go to the US, a lot of our star labor force from specifically the coding and engineering backgrounds move to the US, work for companies in the US, create products in the US, and give those products back to India to consumers here. So that mentality now needs to change, and we need to take advantage of our own ecosystem. We often blame saying, oh, government policy nahi hai, ye nahi hai, wo nahi hai. But I think today is the time where I think young Indians like us need to take advantage of the ecosystem and really build for our country. And I think that sorry, I'm taking a little bit of time because I'm a little passionate about this question. But the point is that this is the time where I feel like young entrepreneurs, young builders like us need to take the hardship forward, not take the shortcut, right? We always want to say, okay, jaldi se how will we earn? It takes 5, 10, 15 years to get there. And I'll make a very good example. Today, you look at Eternal as a company, right? You look at Zomato. Zomato wasn't a multi-billion-dollar company overnight. It took Dipinder Goyal hard work, years of manifestation to get to where the company is today, and then give that value not only to himself, but his employees. Similarly for us, it's taken us 3 years. We didn't get investors. People didn't want to believe in us. We couldn't create, people thought we couldn't create the value in India, but we didn't stop believing. Me and my co-founders decided to take the plunge. We said, don't worry. If people are not going to believe in us, we believe in us. We'll make it happen. Today, we employ almost 3,000 people ourselves. And our vision is to make India the center of model training. Why should companies go to a US company or a European company to train their models? We have the talent. We have a high intellectual capability. We have a cost advantage. We also have a very high skilled labor force. So all the ingredients are there, and I think the next 5 years, I think it's really up to us as individuals how we take advantage of this ecosystem around us and make it a part of our DNA to make that change.
That was an excellent take on our existing ecosystem. So I would like to invite Mr. Sanjay. Sanjay is the co-founder and CEO of Spine, building real-world AI products that businesses adopt, scale, and pay for. Welcome, Mr. Sanjay. Thank you, sir. Please. So my next question is for Love Agarwal, sir. Sir, India is pushing AI strongly through policy and national initiatives. From your perspective, what is the most impactful way the government can ensure AI reaches the last citizen, not just big cities and big companies?
I'll start from what my distinguished panelists talked about. I think from government perspective, what is very important is that we have to look for AI as an inclusive tool. The topic for today is again welfare for all. So when we talk about using of AI, we should not be thinking of AI as a tool in itself, but something which gets embedded into the digital public infrastructure, which government of India or state level it is getting created. I also would like to talk about this embedding of the technology into the system today, because when you see a colleague from police services using AI in his governance at the field level, I think to that extent we have done that battle. I think kudos to the efforts which are being done. And from that as a perspective, what we need to understand is that we have to think of AI as an enabler. AI is not an end in itself. It is very critical to understand that when government comes up, it comes up with tools which affect people at large. Let me give an example primarily in my present assignment, wherein I deal with importers and exporters from this country. In this case, can AI be embedded into the software which we use to provide permissions to people as a policy, not create one tool, one pilot somewhere, but I engage it in my digital public infrastructure through which services are provided to common man so that it is accessible to everyone. Can this be put to use in terms of ensuring that if you are going to fill up voluminous forms within the system, that can be aided by AI? Can it help me in terms of understanding that if someone is trying to utilize or gain the system and identify those people, those organizations, so that at least the genuine exporter or importer does not get harassed, but the wrong set of people can be accounted for. So that is where AI can build in. Similarly, there are use cases in agriculture. Can I use it to do soil analysis? Can I ensure that based on the soil analysis? So something which is very cutting edge, something which affects common man is what we need to focus on. And I strongly believe, India has to start thinking in terms of AI tools for itself. We are a country of 1.4 plus billion people. We have to start thinking of LLMs which are based in India, of LLMs or the small language models which are based in India, Indian data, and based on that getting embedded into the software which government is making for people at large, and ensure that it actually becomes a policy to utilize AI as a tool in terms of going down to community. So it has to be primarily focused on common man, rural areas, than in terms of only certain pilots. We need to come out of that pilot approach. We need to actually understand that technology already exists. It's a revolution which is happening. We're passing through it and we cannot lose that opportunity. Thank you.
My next question is to Mr. Kishore. From a policing and citizen safety perspective, where can AI help the most in India? Crime prevention, faster investigations, or public safety delivery?
Thank you, Radhakant. I would say all the three. So AI I would describe, just now the sir has described it as an enabler. I would call artificial intelligence is the Iron Man suit that every Indian policeman requires. So if you actually think about anybody who have traveled abroad can appreciate our existing policemen are all Tony Starks without the Iron Man suit. Working across with all the constraints, under-resourced, understaffed, and often overworked. That is where AI is going to empower each and every policeman to give their best to the citizens. Sitting here, I could say the kind of vibe coding and the environment, that change that we are seeing now. Just imagine an app, Dharma app that we are currently using in Eluru is entirely coded by our own team without any vendor support. So that has already helped us to get more than 31 people accused, the bad guys, to be convicted for life, which is a 156% increase compared to the previous year. So the playground is now, AI has become very accessible for each and every government department, especially for departments like police. So there is a big playground where everyone can build products to their problems, because going forward GPUs are standardized. LLMs are standardized. What makes you unique is the flavor that you bring from your domain expertise. The person who understands the problems, the processes, then to build the product has become easier. You can simply vibe code it. But that's where the domain expertise hands are now strengthened, and especially AI in policing. Policemen every day deals with loads of data, lots of CCTV feeds. It's very easy to deploy 1 lakh CCTV cameras. It's very difficult to analyze and go through each of them. So that's where AI will come. AI will actually help us to see more, to analyze more. It gives us more reach, like how an Iron Man suit will take Tony Stark to places, allow him to take instantaneous decisions on the spot, in which actually policeman operates. Any police leader would operate within the time frame. So there is no time for deliberation. They don't have complete information. So in the retrospect, we can analyze all the decisions or the acts that were done, but most of the leaders do operate in those constraints. So AI is exactly going to fill in those roles. And Sir has rightly pointed out, these pilots needs to be scaled up. And Mr. Scindia also has pointed out that these tools needs to be built from within India. I would proudly say the project that we are working in started 3 years before, and which is the first in the world to automate entire policing workflows, where an investigation co-pilot was built from end to end. Any citizen can today walk in to Eluru police station and log their complaint by speaking to a voice bot in their own language. And their entire conversation transcript will be available for the future, so they can, so the transparency is there, the empathy is there. So the pilots are ready. Now the job is how to get them scaled up, how to institutionalize them, how governments can identify these problems and build institutions around them, and how the entrepreneurs can come and commercialize them and export those products to outside. So then definitely whenever these pilots become strong products and used across, because crime and criminals, they never have jurisdictions. They won't see Eluru. They will come from anywhere and everywhere. So that's where I think once we start those institutions around these technologies and build these products into very reliable products, the police can deliver much more than they are currently doing for the Indian public.
The next one is for Mr. Pulkit. If AI has to benefit every student in India, what is the one breakthrough it can deliver in education? Better learning, better guidance, or better access?
Okay, first of all, thank you for inviting me to this panel. I think I would want to acknowledge there are certain things that AI has already achieved till now, and there are certain things that we see that it will do for us. So the first bit is what it has achieved and what it can do for us. Now moving to that, if you ask me today, I would say it would be guidance. And with that, I'll take a little bit of pause here and I'll ask everyone here, panelist, or the audience, is one question that every student encounters in their life is, what do I do next? I have passed my 10th, what do I choose from here? So the real gap is not information anymore. That is what AI has already achieved. The real gap now is the direction. Does a student need help in solving a maths problem? Yes, he does. He would eventually do that if he chooses that field. But what AI can then step in and help him is identify, does he want to go for JEE? Does he want to go for NEET? Does he want to go for a UPSC examination? Does he want to go for CA? Or completely different, entirely different thing. So basically, if AI can now step in and help, identify the strengths of the student, their financial limitations, their effort patterns, their learning capabilities, and based on that, they can move to the most important question, like I posted earlier, that is there in education in anyone's life: what next? So if you say AI can be a universal teacher, it already is right now. You go to the internet, open up ChatGPT, open up Gemini, open up Claude, ask a question, it will give you a lot of things. But what now a student needs is a lifelong mentor, a personalized lifelong mentor. And I think that's the direction that we're taking at Physics Wala as well, where we are kind of breaking down the entire journey of a student by first principles. Like Kishore sir talked about, having a voice bot. We reach out to the student, try to identify what are their learning needs, what kind of course are they looking for, are they selecting the right batch? Is it, they're just preparing IIT because their friends are doing it, or they're choosing IIT and JEE because it's the right choice for them, making them helping during that journey. Then once they get in, giving them that personalized experience, they have doubts in a class. So a teacher is teaching to the entire class. It cannot be personalized. The traditional way was you raise your hand, stop the class. Now, what used to happen is the teacher used to digress, not being able to complete their courses. That's where we again plug in AI today, is where the student can start interacting with that AI on the platform and start asking their question while the teacher is continuing with what they're teaching. Similarly, it goes beyond. I think Kishore sir would have already, he would have given a UPSC examination, written a long essay. So today what we do is we have this AI grader, a tool that we built, which evaluates the handwritten assignment on the platform. And it gives feedbacks. Hey, this is what you've done good here. This is where it does not meet the UPSC guidelines. This is how you could have formulated it. If that kind of a direction, guideline, the students can get access to, I think that's something really groundbreaking that the AI can now start doing in many more fields beyond education.
That was very good. Okay. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Deepith. He's the co-founder and CEO of InShots, shaping how millions of Indians consume information in the AI age.
Hello. Thank you, everyone, and apologies for holding the panel. And it's good that you guys started without me. So I think the platform that is getting created because of AI, right? It has a lot of potential and a lot of risks, right, on both sides. And so it's a classic example of how a startup looks like: high risk, high reward. And just that now the risk reward has to be acted upon and calculated by the entire collective and not just a few founders or few stakeholders in one corner of one room. In fact, if this is done in that sort of manner, then the risks would outweigh the rewards, and hence it needs to be a more broad-based discussion. And I'm so happy that India is leading the way in organizing the AI Impact Summit, because a country of 1 billion people, a democratic society, a multicultural society is best positioned to do that. So yeah, I'm really grateful that we are taking those steps. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, Love sir has to leave. Just before leaving, I would like to take his closing comments. Sir, as India engages globally on trade and partnerships, how do you see AI shaping India's global position as a consumer of technology or as a leader shaping the rules of the future?
You know what AI has done? It has actually democratized knowledge. It is not something, the expert knowledge is not in the hands of few, but as was mentioned, you can go to any of the LLM and in that sense, you can, get those knowledge at your level. India with 1.4 billion people, we are actually sitting on the cusp of that revolution. If we start understanding that we can never be a consumer, we can actually be a leader, then only that game will change. I would just like to give you 2 examples of how in my earlier assignment, and that is, around the time when ChatGPT was also not in place, we were working on AI, just to highlight, how government is trying to integrate AI into its own processes. You would remember we all had tough time during COVID. It is around that time when we had a platform called Integrated Health Information Platform, where we were monitoring 33 infection-prone diseases across the country, line listing based, and then we realized that it is very important to understand media and identify early warning signals. It is at that time we had a tool integrated into our surveillance platform where in 13 Indian languages we were able to cull out the data from across the platforms in India, even all the way from Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, etc. And we were able to identify those early alerts, and based on that we were able to react. That is one part I just want to highlight. Similarly, during COVID, you should also relate, we also had the challenge that we could not come out and we could not even go to a hospital. That is the time Government of India launched a telemedicine platform called eSanjeevani. It is around that time I remember I was actually traveling a country, and the health minister of that country offered me, and my minister, the health minister, that he said, we have a telemedicine platform, we would like to give it free to you. I had to politely ask him, sir, what has been the performance so far? And he mentioned that, we have done 200,000 calls till now. And I had to politely bring to his notice, sir, eSanjeevani does 500,000 calls per day. Friends, I am happy to highlight to you that till today, 30 crore calls have been done on that platform free of cost to the common man of this country. And let me relate to you, the first question you asked me, how is it that it will actually help common man? Right. Now with those 30 crore calls, the data which we have gathered, based on that, already an AI tool is in the making, based on which you know the disease profile of this country, and probably no one in the globe will have that much knowledge which this tool will have, which Indian government will have, and how much it can actually take us in terms of ensuring that we are able to serve the common man. So primarily from that as a perspective, a country of 1.4 billion people, the talent which India has, if we actually do not take a rightful place in the AI arena, it will be our loss. I would also like to highlight to all of you something which I very strongly believe. We captured we crossed the knowledge barrier already through AI. Think of it that this knowledge barrier supported by robotics in future, which is what is happening today across the globe in all the labs. And if we start talking about autonomous robots, AI supporting those robotics, and so then we will basically, this knowledge barrier supported by the execution ability. We are talking about the biggest revolution in technology which globe has seen till today. And it is for us to ensure that India not only focuses on AI, it also should focus on other cutting edge technology which are there, integrate them together, and then we make an impact. And what we have to always understand that India is known for its low cost research. It is very important for us, and a statement made by someone, I would like to cite it, is that why did DeepSeek not come from India? Why did it come from China? We have the ability, we have the manpower. And as has been told by Mr. Scindia, all the big companies across the globe, they are having Indians running the show. It is probably the time that those Indians and the spectrum of Indians across the globe, we all come together, including the talent within country today, and we ensure that we drive the agenda. So I think it is very important for India, and we are in the right path to ensure that we take our rightful place when it comes to usage of technology. I am really sorry, friend, there was a meeting which I had slightly later, it got preponed. Kindly permit me to take your leave, and I would just like to go ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I would like to request the panelists to just gather for a group photo. Sir, just a photo, all the panelists. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, we can continue. My next question is to Mr. Sanjay. Most AI success stories come from large enterprises. What does the path to AI adoption look like for India's 63 million MSMEs?
Hello. Yeah, Thanks for inviting me for the session, first of all. And sorry for being late. I left well in time, like almost took 2.5 hours of buffer to reach here. But the traffic was like so huge. So on the way, I was thinking about what could we do to use AI to solve this traffic problem, right? So many opportunities that you can think through. And I like there could be starters which should come up and solve this as a core problem in India, right? So, I mean, and it is not going to go down. So every day you see new people moving in the middle class and a lot of cars getting on the road, right? So this problem is going to go worse and worse as we see in future. So yeah, I mean, this is one of the aspects, like similar to this, there are massive number of problems that India is struggling with right now with scale that many few countries right now are facing, right? So, I mean, one of the problems that we are talking about is the kind of MSMEs depth that India has, 63 to 65 million, and the problem that they are solving right now, how can AI facilitate and help them like gain in their business, right? So, you see like multiple ways to look at this particular problem. So, software adoption, if you see last few years, like last maybe 15 to 20 years, and see MSME adopting to the software ecosystem, it is still very under-penetrated, right? So not many of the software companies have been able to penetrate and commercialize softwares that are massively successful among the small businesses in India. But the AI has given a room now to really penetrate in this particular segment, right? So what MSMEs are struggling with right now? So they are struggling with their invoicing, their payment collections, their inventory management, the way they will be able to reach out to their customers, right? And all done at scale, doing very, very efficiently and at a cost optimized manner. So you see, like, not many companies are still attempting to solve the MSMEs problems in India. And one of the fundamental reasons is it is hard. Like, when you talk to MSMEs, these are not only single language speaking people. These MSMEs are speaking as many as like 50 plus languages in the country, right? So popular languages. So what options do startups have, right? So do we solve for the MSMEs which do not pay you very high, or you do focus on the segments that pay you relatively much higher and also easy to penetrate, right? So I mean, my entire point is too that there are buckets which you can solve efficiently and build a very highly profitable business. Like for the example, like US. If you see, we focus on the US market and solve for the automotive dealers there. There are close to 70,000-80,000 dealers there in the US, which all speak English, have good paying propensity right now for a solution like us. We solve inventory, voice AI, conversational intelligence, and a lot of like different problems because of which they can increase their business. But the same solutions that we are building are also very much applicable to Indian MSME ecosystem. It is just the adoption of that solution in a very cost efficient manner that we need to do to make it like really massively big market, 65 million MSMEs, right? So just a ton of gold that we are sitting on right now if we are able to really crack this particular market. So yeah, I mean, we are fighting hard. We took this particular battle to first target the US market and build the solutions in a space at a scale that can be rolled out to the MSMEs in India, and there's a path that we are chasing, and so are many other startups, and I would recommend like going deep into the Indian ecosystem and solving for it. So great opportunity does it present. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. My next one is for Mr. Scindia again. You lead both startups and institutions. How do you ensure AI becomes empowering and inclusive rather than something only the privileged can benefit from?
So I think personally, I think AI is already pretty inclusive. Again, like I mentioned, the foundation of the usage of AI is based on how much internet accessibility you have, what infrastructure you have. And today, that infrastructure is pretty strong in India. If you look at the smartphone penetration, if you look at 5G penetration, 4G penetration. But I think in terms of inclusivity, it's not just access to infrastructure and access to connectivity, it's also how you build AI, right? The fundamental is what data sets are going in to train these models to ensure inclusivity. Now, India is a very diverse country. We have over 28 languages, over 1,000 dialects. It's a very complicated landscape to include that inclusivity in. So it's a complex problem, but also it's a huge opportunity. So for large companies or even startups in India, I think to even tap certain regions is of huge economic value. It will promote inclusivity, and it will also promote revenue generation. That's part one. Part two is that as you know, I'm involved in various institutions. As I'm talking and conversing with a lot of students, what I'm realizing slowly is that while students are very well aware about what AI is, they don't know how to use AI. And I think a large part of inclusivity also means how do you use this tool, right? So I think it's very important for institutions to be connected to where the industry is moving, right? If you want to be able to create human assets, right, in India, for our country, there has to be that synergy between industry and institute. So that way, you keep creating courses and educating students with the most advanced knowledge bases. And how AI is moving today is every day there's a new model. Every day there's a new tool. Every day there's a new feature. So if students and the youth of this country are not well versed in not only how to use it, but how it's trained, how it works, they can't protect themselves. Because data privacy is also a huge point that we need to focus on as a country. While we're using all of these international models, we also need to know where all this data is being stored. Right. And how this data is being used by these international companies. Correct. So these are all questions that need to be looked at a very close level in order to promote inclusivity in terms of tool usage, but also inclusivity in terms of diversity of tools to address various regional populations and diversity within India.
Right. Wonderful. Again, on the similar grounds, Mr. Kishore, my next one is for you. As AI becomes widespread, fraud and cybercrime are also evolving. So what should citizens be most careful about in the AI era? And there is another question to that. What guardrails should always exist to ensure AI strengthens trust, not fear?
Absolutely. The more the technology, like you always say, that it carries with double edge.
Right.
So when we talk about AI empowering people, business and society, we're also talking a lot of Indians who are very, very tech savvy, I would say. I don't think there is any country which adopted the digital payments like India did. You go to any remote agency area where nothing is available, power might not be available, but you could still see the UPI scanners, and that also breeds a lot of scamsters. So not just AI was democratized now for the well-meaning people, it is also democratized for the bad fellows. So now the crime is not just on the street. From the street scale, the crime has now moved to the software scale. And I think in another 5 years or maybe half the decade, it will, once the the physical hardware also gets into the AI and the combination of robotics, imagine the power that criminals are also going to wield. So we as a society, and especially us as law enforcement, we need to prepare for those challenges. And the only way that we are going to be prepared for those challenges is by using them. So we always say that chor hamesha police से 2 कदम आगे रहता है, because he is more motivated. He only has to succeed once. Police has to succeed each and every time. So how are we going to tackle this very asymmetrical challenge? So that's where I have the previous question comes. We are so far using technology more at an individual basis. We need to scale it up. We need to institutionalize those technologies. And second, at the same time, we should be very, like the country that we are in, the moment you put out some application or some app, we don't question much. We just tend to jump in and start using it without thinking into the risks and consequences. That's where educating our public before onboarding them to such technologies is very much required. I think a drastic approach is required, the way that we still teach in the schools, even in the very small, like first standard, second standard, because they are the people who are actually the primary consumers of the mobiles at home, if you actually look into it. So, but all our awareness is always targeted on the people who have money. But I would tell an important statistic: all the people who are losing money to cybercrime, they are not illiterates. There are judges, there are lawyers, there are police officers who are very well aware about these scams. So how are the cyber criminals are able to convince and get these money out from them? Because they operate on first principles, I would say, for crime: the greed, the lust, and the speed of money that they would want to make. So till we address these concerns, again using technology. Earlier, to create an awareness video, it would have taken a lot of short film actors, and it's a gigantic effort for a district police chief. But now we could create a lot of awareness videos directly from AI. But again, cyber criminal is also able to generate those deepfake videos, etc. So the industry and regulator, you spoke about regulators. So that's where the one important industry that could emerge as the tech to recognize what is AI and what is not. And second, we are building all these amazing systems, but how are we going to protect the data poisoning issue? What if the so-called LLM that you are using is deliberately poisoned? Is there explainability for the solution that you have built or released into the market? How are you going to tackle these prompt injections? What are those safeguards? So I think policing role and the realm has moved. It is no longer look at the traffic, look at the laws, write down, catch some fellow. So now we are moving to an advanced realm where even the money now which is being laundered is no more physical cash transactions. The money is moving immediately into crypto, getting layered into across different NFTs also. You would be surprised. They're not even using cryptocurrency. They are using NFTs to launder their money. So there needs to be a drastic change how we educate our own law enforcement. There is a lot of need for the civic society, the entrepreneurial community to come and join with police to protect the public.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I think we are almost about time, but yeah, I would like to ask Mr. Pulkit. So do you think AI will make education more equal, or will it widen the gap between students who have access and those who don't?
Okay, I'll take an interesting stance here. I'll ask you a question now.
Sure.
Has it already not? So,
It is.
yeah, so just taking to that answer, see, if going by reports and data, about 500 million people in the country already have access to smartphones. By the end of 2026, it is projected that about 1 billion people in the country will have access to smartphones.
Right.
What is the population of the country? 1.4 billion. So, you know, high quality content, if it comes to education, high quality explanations, doubt solving, content, practice questions, anything. It's basically commoditized by AI now. It's already there. You know, you go to Gemini, you say, I want to take a JEE NEET practice examination.
Right.
It starts a timer, it starts giving you. Was it available earlier?
No.
It was not. So, see, the important question is, now we are limited by how the country is growing, not by how AI is growing. AI is already moving at a pace, and they are moving in hours, not in days, not in weeks, not in months. So we have to catch up as humans now.
Right.
So the you know, the playing ground is already level. There's no inequality.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's.
Thank you. And my next one is for Mr. Deepith. So you are in the media. So India is moving fast in the digital and AI adoption. How do we ensure citizens stay informed with facts, not influenced by algorithm-driven narratives?
Absolutely, and I think thanks for putting me on the spot. This is the most difficult problem that we are dealing with day in, day out. In shorts, of course, people know it's a news app. It's a short news app. And we have another app called Public, which is a hyper-local social media app. Across the two products, we reach about 120 million monthly active users. And while design, I'll give the answer through an excerpt of how we designed Public, which is a social media app, but making sure that we weed out fake narratives right at the bud. The only thing that we ensured in the platform was two things. First, that the content gets distributed hyper-locally. Second, all people who want to create content on Public and have access to distribution, they need to verify themselves. They need to be KYC verified. Our country guarantees freedom of speech for people. Our country doesn't guarantee freedom of speech for bots. So that is a clear differentiation that we need to understand and implement in our social media profiles. If you are unable to trace who is the creator of a content, then you will never be able to weed out fake news or fake narratives in the market, right? As soon as we associate an identity, you won't believe the number of reported videos on our platform is less than 0.01%. Okay? And those reports are also mostly that a person doesn't agree with the point of view, right? And the person is ready to, if there is a police complaint, the person is also ready to visit the police station, claiming that I have put out this narrative, I have visited the police station, tell me what I need to do. If there is a larger law and order issue that is happening, they are happy to take it down also upon the police's request, right? So the country is functioning. Country has a functioning system as long as you make sure you put the intent and the spirit of the law and not just the letter of the law while designing systems. So that's all I would recommend everybody in the ecosystem. Try to understand the spirit of the law and then design systems according to it. Law cannot move at the pace technology is moving. We as responsible leaders need to make sure that enforcement moves at that pace.
Right. True. Yes, I think we are almost about the end. Any closing comments, Mr. Sanjay?
I think we are at the right cusp of time right now, and the AI has given us the opportunity to build and think big for the globe from India, solve extremely complex problems here, and and target the markets which are easy, US or Europe, right? So once you are able to solve Indian problems, the path is so easy, because if you are able to solve here, you are able to solve globally the problems. So amazing opportunity we are sitting on right now at this moment. Thank you.
Anything, Mr. Sindhia, before closing comments?
I think it's a wonderful discussion that we had. I just leave one thing. I think when the civilization started, it all started saying gold is gold. Then it slowly moved, coal became gold. then oil became gold, then came the data is gold. I think today with the technology and the AI democratization, problems are going to be gold. The people who understand problems will create the gold. There is no other country other than India. If you can solve any problem in India, you're solving it for the world. I think if you can solve the traffic in Bangalore or all our cities, I don't think your solution will be challenged anywhere else in the world.
Very interesting. Yes. I think can we wrap up? Okay. Thank you everyone for attending this. Thank you very much. Yeah. So we have some mementos for the esteemed panelists. Mr. Sindhia, please. Mr. Kishore. Mr. Sanjay. Mr. Deepit. And Mr. Pulkit. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks again. It was very good session.